Everyone, I'm Adrienne Tungate, the Executive Director of Chicago Sister Cities International. Welcome to Discover Our Sister Cities. Chicago has 29 sister cities around the world, and each month we're taking a deep dive into a different sister city to hear from experts on a wide variety of topics, from history to current events and culture. China is the only country where we have two sister cities, Shanghai and Shenyang. We celebrated our 35th anniversary with both cities last year, and it's a very strong partnership of ours. And we have great partnerships and friendships with both of the cities. Given all that's going on with the world today with the pandemic, this month, instead of talking specifically about our partnerships in those cities, we want to take it a little bit closer to home in Chinatown. Chicagoans have benefited immeasurably from the many cultural, civic, and business contributions from the community. And I think we've all been dismayed as we've watched how the Asian community has been targeted with racism and seen how the businesses have been affected by the pandemic. And so we wanted to highlight those who are doing important work in Chinatown and what we can all do to support them. It's my pleasure to introduce the co-chair of our China committee, Rebecca Shi. Rebecca.
Great. Thank you so much, Adrienne. Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here with you today. Sorry about the background of, I'm in my car. I'm actually waiting for my mother to get her medicine from Walgreens. But I'm so happy with all of you here today. As Adrienne said, I am honored to be the co-chair of this committee. In my day job, I'm the executive director of the American Business Immigration Coalition. We are a coalition of 1,200 employers and CEOs over 13 states who have united for bipartisan, common sense immigration reform that creates jobs, grows the economy, and keeps families together. Currently, we are working on bipartisan legislation that can create a path to lawful status for our dreamers, TPS holders, farm workers, high-skilled and low-skilled visas, including family visas, H-1B visas, many of the visa types that has enabled our Asian American and Chinese American community to be part of this great nation. Also specifically in Chicago's Chinatown, I've had the pleasure to work with and learn from incredible leaders like Bernie and Esther Wong, C.W. Chan, David Wu, and many others in terms of continuing to provide critical services to our seniors, to our working families, and also our small businesses to be able to recover and rebuild from the COVID-19 pandemic. To that end, this committee, a lot of the members, as well as leaders in Chinatown have been doing weekend food drives. Representative Teresa Ma, our state representative, have been holding together with Puitak Center and Castle, distributing food, non-perishables, and just supplies for our families and seniors in Chinatown to be able to weather this pandemic. One piece of good news for our small businesses, the state, the city, and hopefully the federal government will continue to have grants and small business technical assistance programs so that our restaurants, our mom and pops, our favorite bubble tea places can get the assistance and tide them over, bridge them over until we can fully reopen safely again. So to that end, I am really happy to introduce Shifa Zhong to speak to the work, the amazing work that he is doing as well. Shifa.
Wow, thank you, Rebecca. And there's no way I can follow up with that. So it's just a really amazing work that you're doing for the immigrants here. So hi, everybody. My name is Shifa. I came from China 10 years ago, 2011. And in the beginning, I couldn't speak any English, and it was really tough for me. So my family is an immigrant family and also a low-income family background. So like most of the, I guess that there are two types of people coming here, right? There are international students, and there are people who coming here, like my family as an immigrant. Both of my parents, they work in the restaurant industry, and everybody can see how my family was going through 2020, right? It was a really tough situation for my family because my family, and let's go, I think everybody know what happened last year, right? So it was a really tough beginning for 2020, because my family and I, we were reading the Chinese news. We know exactly what was going on in China, and in the beginning of America wasn't taking everything serious, and then whole thing was shut down in March, and both of my parents lost their jobs. So, and then around that time, I just graduated. I graduated from college 2019 December. So right after I graduate, right after I graduated from college, I started my business and see that this is going on in Chinatown. That most of the Chicago Chinatown businesses, they are not ready for this impact. Even before the pandemic, they are not even doing well. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people reading the news saying that like 60 or 70% of the business in Chinatown are not doing really good, or some of them might shutting down. And I can tell you that right now, this is true. Because right now I'm working with different small businesses in Chicago Chinatown to help them to navigate through in this digital space, because most of the Chinatown businesses, they don't really know marketing, right? So I think it's also we gotta go back to the context too, and I would love to have this conversation with you too, Rebecca, because since you're working closely with the immigrants family, so when I started to come to United States, I was when I was when I was still in college, my major was biochemistry, because like many of the typical Asian family, they want me to go to the medical field, right? So it didn't really work out for me that well. So I changed my major before I even told my parents. And if you really know the Asian culture, you can probably see that that is a really, really intense conversation that I have with my parents. So so most of the Asians, like the typical Asians, we are not even in the creative space. So they don't really, at least from the place that I'm coming from, we don't really believe in creativity, right? So from my college experience, there are many Asians are going to the medical field because they want to create better future for the family. And of course, I want to do so for my family because my family abandoned everything, literally abandoned everything in China just for me to hope I can have a better future in America. So this is a lot of immigrants children like me, we feel obligation to help my family. So yeah, so that's part of that's my history. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Shifa. And then do you want to talk to us a little bit about, you touched on what some of the challenges that Chinatown is facing right now.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the Chicago Loves Chinatown program and you got involved with that and the work that you're doing in Chicago?
Yeah. So a Chicago Loves China. So right now, so I think I talk about my past, right? So what I'm doing right now is I'm running an agency. So we are helping different small businesses we help them with the marketing and branding, because the thing that I don't really appreciate is like when what's the first thing that people think of Chinatown when what's the first thing they come to their mind when they think of Chinatown, right? Food, dirty, it's not really clean, right? So all this association coming to Chinatown, and the reason why that happening is because nobody, like at least in Chinatown, nobody taking marketing or even the creativity serious in Chinatown. I work with those different businesses in Chinatown. So after having a conversation with them, Chicago Chinatown, we have a lot of space that we need to work on. at least just for marketing, because there are different generations of people in Chinatown, right? So I'm kind of considered the younger generation here in Chinatown because I graduated from college, but there are multiple generations before me try to pave the way for us, and they have their own way of doing things. And right now, sorry, I was just reading the comments. Right now, this is the time for the younger generation like us at our age. We realize that this is a problem that we're not solving. And I actually know the people who, I don't want to drop any names because I just want to keep the community close. But one thing, the first thing I always, tell people, the first thing to solve any problem is that we have to admit it. This is a problem, right? If you don't really admit it, this is a problem, we are in a really deep cycle. We're not gonna get out of this. Right now, I'm just really lucky that I'm fortunate enough to meet with different business leaders in Chicago Chinatown, and I realized that there are some changes that need to be made, or some problem that we need to admit, right? First thing I mentioned marketing, and some of the organization that we don't really take marketing serious. So so everybody just think that, hey, the marketing is the last thing, so let's focus on doing other stuff. For example, the stuff that Rebecca is doing for the community, for some reason, the youth of Chinatown, they don't really know about that happening, right? Because we don't really focus on the things that spreading the message out. So my team here, we are dedicated to spread out the message, to let people know what is going on in Chicago Chinatown. And then going back to the question, Jess, you talk about, I would love to talk about this case study from Triple Crown Restaurant. So for everybody who's listening, if you've been to Triple Crown, please type 1 or something to type on the chat, and let me know that you've been to Triple Crown Restaurant, right? So Triple Crown Restaurant has been here for the past 25 years. It's been here for a really long time, right? Do anybody know what's going on with Triple Crown Restaurant right now? Right? I see people saying that they can't pay rent. Yeah. I think they are. Right? Because yeah, so they can pay rent. That's one of the reasons. Because of the pandemic, they rely heavily on the indoor dining, right? Because of safety issue, there's no way around it. I agree. Yeah, lost due to COVID. I 100% agree. Actually, my team, we're actually going to take on the documentary project for Triple Crown Restaurant. They've been here for the past 25 years, and then now they are shutting down. So so Spencer from Triple Crown, they actually going to the court with the landlords for the landlords in March 15. So right now, so there are multiple lawsuits going against Triple Crown, right? So for the media, I mean, so media, after I talking to Spencer, there are whatever Triple Crown is going through, it's not just Triple Crown. So there are so many organizations going through the same thing. So the main reason is that there are multiple reasons. Some of the reasons will be Triple Crown, they have a really bad relationship with the landlords, and because of whole pandemic, Triple Crown still have to pay for the full lease. They have to pay for the full lease. And I was reading some of the news. I was reading some of the emails exchange. They were even trying to take Triple Crown away from Spencer. This is a family-owned business. So the relationship with landlords and the restaurant owners are not doing really good either. So they want to take away Chicago. They want to take away a family business in a pandemic. Nobody see that coming. They're trying to take that away from him. Imagine this is a family business. So this just doesn't sound right? So that's why they're going in the court right now. So like my team, yeah. So my team, we are working with them to do the documentary. Spencer right now, we're just working with him closely to see what we can move forward with. But this is just one of the the restaurants that are struggling in Chicago Chinatown. But so like this is part of the thing, right? Because most of the resources in China, in Triple Crown, is not replaceable, just like the branding. So what I do, we focus on branding too. So so the landlords, they're going after their brand name. They want the whole brand name for themselves. So so even there are a lot of businesses in Chinatown. I'm gonna hide the chat away first for now, okay? Because I keep getting distracted. There were a lot of businesses in Chinatown. They don't even have a website. They don't even have like a story. They don't have a brand book. They don't even have a proper logo design. So most of the businesses in Chinatown, they just, we have some money, and then we open a business in Chinatown, and then they don't even think about a long-term solution for the future, right? So right now we are helping the oldest bakery in Chicago Chinatown. So we get everybody can look them up. It's called Chu Kun Bakery. So again, if anybody been to Chu Kun Bakery, you can type Chu in the comments. I just want to get a survey too. Chu Kun Bakery, right now we are helping them to rebrand everything. We are actually in the process of building the website for them. So a really long lasting, they've been here for around like 35 years. So we are helping their business with their marketing, with their website design, with the rebranding too. We design the logo for them. So, and then we are helping them with their with their new location too. So what I'm saying is, pandemic actually accelerate what is going on in Chicago Chinatown. Whatever that we're going through right now is not out of a sudden. We've been here. We have been going through this. So right now, yeah. And after I speak with a few more business owners, and a lot of them, they don't really know what is marketing anymore. So they don't even know how the website works. They don't even know how the third-party delivery app, because some of the restaurants, they just focus on getting the community, trying to work with the Chinatown community, right? Because that's how they make money, and also get some money from the tourism too. But most of the business, some of the business, they are actually working. They actually work with not work, but actually provide food for the local community, right? But Chinatown is so big. It's only so big right now. I'll always consider Chinatown is a isolated island. We are kind of out of reach, right? If someone, for example, right? I ask you guys right now, I ask everyone in the group chat right now, so I'm pretty sure everybody here come here, we share the same mindset. We would love to help Chicago Chinatown, but can you comment a way that you can help out Chicago Chinatown? Right? So it's really, really tough for them, because I'm not blaming anyone. It's just the fact that right now Chinatown is an isolated island. We are not actively reaching out because of lack of marketing. We are not sending a message to the other community, right? If we actually look at all these established organization of how they're doing the social media marketing, marketing in general, or digital marketing, everything is I don't see any. Or if luckily organization, we think that we should do some social media marketing, or we should do some marketing, but they never take it serious. They just think that, we just gotta do it, and then just never really take it serious. So that's kind of what ended up happening to us right now. We are not communicating with what considered outside world. This is what my organization doing right now. We are here to bridge the cultural divide. We are an isolated island, and also the things that we are doing right now. Before even the pandemic, I work with different events. One of the signature events we are doing is called Hip Hop in Chinatown. So we would love to bring different cultures in Chinatown and help them to market, to welcome, make more Chinatown welcome, right? So that's what going back is the reason that the reason that my team created the Chicago Loves Chinatown is that we want to provide a way for people to help out Chicago Chinatown. So if we actually look at Chinatown, right? Chinatown, there are really big there are different big Chinatowns are in New York, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. The things that they are really doing amazing, phenomenal, is that they have multiple, there are so many young leaders, like people like me at my age. I'm 24, by the way. So many young leaders, they are stepping up to help out their local Chinatown. But guess I honestly don't know anybody that really actively helping out local business here. That's the reason, like in the beginning, when I speaking with Jess, when I speaking with Ella, so those are the people that who all help us to organize this whole conversation here. Is that I'm reaching out for help. Literally, right now we are sort of staff. We gotta eat too. We have to provide for my family. At the same time, we want to help out the family too. So, and I just want to we are finding a way. So that's why we created this program, Chicago Loves Chinatown. We're creating more initiative that we can at least increase the possibility that people can come in and help out Chinatown, right? I'm just talking about any kind of donation. Right now, you cannot even donate to Chinatown. I don't see any channel. And there are, I can't deny that there are some established organizations they are serving Chicago Chinatown, and I know the people who works in there. And I have to put it this way, and the manager people who work at that management is that their opinion they don't feel like validated. When they start working there, when they were doing the interview, they were saying that they need he or she's thinking, right, to help with Chinatown. But guess what? After they in, this is a systematic thing. So we have our own mindset. So all this established organization is running by an older generation, and for some reason, it's not for some reason. It's really obvious if you live in Chinatown or if you're familiar with Chinese culture, is that all the older generation are the one who make all the decisions. They don't really appreciate they don't really listen to the younger kids. They think that we don't know anything, right? So they just do the same thing that they've been doing. A case study will be here is when we were working at an event, Chinatown. We've been organizing events the same for the past 20 years. I mean, I only been here for the 10 years. For the last 10 years, we haven't made any changes. We keep organizing the same old events. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm Chinese. I love my Chinese culture. But at the same time, if you don't make it relevant, if we don't really reach out and bring some new ideas to our existing idea, people are not going to show up. That's the whole reason that I organized the Hip Hop in Chinatown. We want to bring other ideas to the community, make it more vibrant. So for the people who are not really familiar with Chinatown, we think that Chinatown is a really close, tight group. But this is kind of like, if you know, is that our Chinatown is kind of like segregated. So we have one group working just for you, making profit of just for them, and then you have another group, they are forming cliques, right? So that's so being a really young person, just a young kid in Chinatown, I just want to bring everybody together. And I don't really know about politics. And even one business leader, he told me that you don't even want to know. So because I see where he's coming from, because he told me that if I don't really know the politics in Chinatown, I can work with everybody. That's what he told me. He told me that you probably don't even need to know about the politics in Chinatown. So I can work with everybody, right? So I don't need to worry that I need to step on anybody's toe. And this is what I'm talking about. So right now, and I'm just calling, we don't really have a lot of resources we are in a really tough situation because first of all, people don't believe in marketing. They don't believe in creativity in Chinatown. Everything is kind of half-assed. I'm not sure if I say that. People not taking the marketing serious, and we are stepping up. And the budget that we are working with them is limited, and that's why. And when Jess and Ella reach out, I think this is a perfect opportunity right now. What I'm here is to build more business. I want to foster. I want to help more next generation kids to help them to build their own business too. Even in Chinatown right now, so there are. If the young people, they have the mindset of creating their own business, or they have want to do something in the community, I already connect with them. I'm talking about the people at my age. I tend to work with them because we see the problem that the older generation not seeing. So that's why I love to work with them, and then we are not afraid to speak up. So that's why right now I'm speaking up. I'm actively reaching out to everybody. We can see if there's if there is a way that we can help out Chinatown. I want to create that. And this is the same model. I see that New York is doing really amazing. It's called Send Love Chinatown. You can everybody, if you can just go to Instagram, or you can just Google it. It's called Send Love Chinatown. They are doing a really amazing things. They're actively reaching out to the local community, but my team is not strong enough. So that's why I want to create this program, Chicago Loves Chinatown, for everybody, even from the local community or the people who are not even from Chinatown. We can find a way to see, we can organize this together. And how about Chicago Chinatown? Because we don't really have a lot of people like us in Chinatown. Like I said, if they want to do something in Chinatown, I connect with them. Everybody. I'm not even bragging, literally, but because Chicago Chinatown is really unique, and I always love Chicago Chinatown, and my goal is always my personal goal is make Chicago Chinatown the best Chinatown out in the United States, because Chicago Chinatown is a cultural hub. We have amazing loop, just not really far from us. And then right off the bat, we have a train stop literally named Chinatown. And then we have a neighborhood called Chinatown. So everybody, we have a red line, right? Red line is going from north to south. This is the middle point for north people and south and north and south to meet. So this is a really good Chinatown. But Chicago Chinatown, we kind of backwards. So things happening kind of slow. So we always kind of follow the steps of what's happening in Los Angeles or in New York. So we have to find our own ways to solve this problem. Maybe some people would say, oh, why can't you just copy Send Love Chinatown? One cent, I can just answer that. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough people because most of the people in Chinatown are, I just don't know other way to phrase it. So phrase this. So we just need help. Yeah. And then right now there are more projects that happening. Is literally between the Loop and Chinatown. It's called 78 Project, and this is a really big project that has been approved by the city. So they've been building a really big luxury apartment, and then you're gonna see the comparison. the Chicago Chinatown is all apartment buildings. It's really backwards. So we kind of see. So what they trying to build at 78, right between the Chicago Loop and Chinatown, they want to build a Silicon Valley kind of space. But if you're gonna look at Chinatown, our space is not ready for that kind of big change. So yeah, and then right now, right? So a really big thing is, I thinking like kind of changing this topic right here is that I'm pretty sure a lot of people they seeing the Lunar New Year ads. they see the ads organization that don't really know, they don't really know about Chinese culture or Asian culture. They say Happy Lunar New Year, but when they never ever done anything for the Chinese community, they at the same time they want to make money off of my people, right? So the same thing. This is why I've been telling people. I got backlash for being Chinese supporting Black Lives Matter. Most of the people don't really know this. I was the one that actively trying to support Black Lives Matter in Chinatown. But guess what happened? There is a hate group, you know, on WeChat. There's multiple hate groups against me and my company for me. Why am I supporting Black Lives Matter? Right? Because I'm not blaming them, because everything they think, because they're not most of the people, they get their news from WeChat, so they're not really educated, right? So what I'm saying is what happened to the Black culture is happening to other culture too, right? So look at there was a really big thing, right? So because I'm in an advertising space, because there were all these corporations trying to make profit out of Black culture with appropriating the culture, right? So we have like a white person doesn't really know about Black culture, and then try to make profit out of Black communities. This is exactly the same thing that's happening with the Asian culture and Chinese culture, because Lunar New Year, for some reason, everybody starts saying Happy Lunar New Year, and actually the profile, they have nothing to do with Asian culture, or they not ever done anything, right? So that's why my organization, we are starting a campaign. In May, and I'm calling everybody. I hope I really want everybody put in an email. I'm actually gonna get all the email right here. Put in an email if you want to help out in any way possible. I'm still organizing this. So in May, I'm organizing this campaign. It's called Our Culture Is Not an Act. So now I'm reaching out to my Asian allies. So we need to stand up and say that F that, we just not with that. So we just Asians, our ancient culture, right? Even my I don't want to speak so general. Just start with my family, my dad. My dad just don't want me to. My dad just sometimes tell me though, oh, just suck it up. Just just stay low. If anybody not treating you well, just suck it up. Just don't just don't fight back, right? This is a wrong mentality. If we're not gonna step, just like bully, right? If we're not gonna stand up for ourselves, people gonna keep going after us. So that's why we see that happening with Black culture. We see that they did it right now. They're trying to do that with Asian culture. So May is this is the Asian American month. So this is the perfect time for us to step up. We're gonna say no to that. Otherwise we're just gonna be in this time for a really long time. Yeah.
Yeah, Shifa, that's really important. And I'm just going to jump in for 1 second, not to cut you off.
Of course.
That's the most important part of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But we're getting so many comments in the chat. Everybody wants to help you and are agreeing with you. And so I wanted to just take a few questions. And you said that you wanted to share your contact information.
Yeah.
Is that right? Do you want to put your email in the chat?
Yeah,
we can also send that out after.
Yeah, please. Yeah, if you can do that. So Jess will follow up with everybody here. So just make it easier for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm going to just take a couple of questions here.
Yep.
Most of them were suggestions for how we can work together, which is great. And I think this conversation comes at a really good time. I know you were excited about having it this month because of Lunar New Year. It's also Black History Month. And then you mentioned in May is Asian American History Month. So. Yep. When you and I first talked about this conversation, it was really important. And I think this is exactly what you're saying, that it's at the heart of what we do as well with citizen diplomacy and building bridges between these different communities within Chicago and then across the world, and making it a model, right, that can be used in different Chinatowns and different Chinese communities, other communities around the world. And so thank you so much for this. It's been really, really interesting. I know I learned a lot. Hopefully everyone here also learned a lot. We have time for a couple of questions here, if that's okay. We've got about 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
So someone asked, are there others like you, or is this a collective effort by a group?
It's a collective effort.
Yeah.
So I'm just the one that you know, more like a face of it. So nobody able to do anything, right? Because you know, like Chicago cities, Chicago sister cities, you get it's a team effort. So I'm just a face right now. Also working with 4 other people that amazingly they are all women leaders. So so they just and also there's another thing about Asian culture too. We just like the bias against the gender. This is a really big issue in the community too. So yeah, so definitely I'm not alone. There are 4 other team members with me. We are actively trying to help out Chinatown, but at the same time, why I said that we also got to feed ourselves. Our ability is limited. So yeah.
Perfect. And a lot of people are asking how they can get involved with you. We'll go ahead and you know, send your contact information after this so they can find ways. We have a question about the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Are they involved at all, or are they sort of not really focusing on this not taking this approach to Chinatown? It sounds like you're taking a more innovative sort of approach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to be more even when we talk about Chamber of Commerce, right? This is an established organization, and I don't want to say something that that gonna go against them, right? So I have my own ways of seeing things that they are not solving, and I know the people who works in there, and I don't know is a better way to phrase it, but just, you know, I think I encourage everybody, you can just Google it, let me know if they haven't done anything, if they've done anything for the past year, since the start of pandemic. What are the things that they help? What are the things that they did for the business in Chinatown? I just ask that question. Yeah, I think it's always good to ask question. Right now I'm part of the local community, so I feel like, you know, I feel like some of the things that I don't want to blast it out, but I encourage everybody to Google to see what are the things that Chinatown Chamber of Commerce did in 2020. What are the things that they done for the community? So if you find out, you know, let me know too. So yeah, so that's why I'm really sitting here, and I genuinely asking everybody, if you see a way that we can help out Chicago Chinatown, you have my full support. That's why we are leading this movement, and that's why I love working with Chicago sister cities. So right now we're having this conversation, right? The first thing we gotta do of solving any problem, we have to admit it. This is a problem. If not, if we don't think this is a problem, there's no way we can solve this problem. So so yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. And I think it's pretty clear from everything that you've talked about. And one of the reasons that it was so exciting to talk to you is I think a lot of people know about the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce and know about, you know, what they do in the community. But I think the advantage that you have, and as a young person in this community, is that you do see things, you know, from a different angle, through a different perspective, and you're able to sort of, as you said, see things a different way, see different pain points and problems that maybe others, you know, coming from a different point of view might not see. So I think that's
yeah. And also, yeah, to add on that is that everything which I just talked about today, I'm just speaking from a perspective of youth of Chinatown. I grew up in this community. I spent my past 10 years here, and those are the things that I'm seeing. Of course, Chamber of Commerce, they are doing something that I'm pretty sure they're doing something that I'm not seeing, right? So that's why I'm just advocate for more transparency, and then we also want to let people know that if you are doing this, don't forget about marketing. It's important. It's important to let the youth or let the community members know that you did this and you are helping out. So otherwise, everybody just kind of blindfolded. We don't even know. So who's driving the bus? We don't even know. So we have to let people know that, hey, we are driving the bus. So I'm the bus driver. So now we know that, oh, we're going to here, we're going to next step. Otherwise, that mean we need to have like a leader presence. So the community we know, okay, so this is what the organizations are doing. Okay, we know that we're being helped. Otherwise, we just feel like we're stuck here. Oh, this pandemic hits. We don't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone asked if helpers should be able to speak a Chinese language like Cantonese, Mandarin.
No. I actually want more English speakers, because it's, you know, the diversity is really important, right? Even in Chinatown. So because right now we know a lot of things in Chicago Chinatown, right? So, and because I spent a lot of time here, I don't, and then of course I read news, but you have your own perspective, and then you think that this is a problem that we can help out. There's a way that we can help out Chicago Chinatown. So to answer your question, everybody's is welcome. So if you only speak English, if you only speak Spanish, everybody is welcome. Yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about the approach that you're taking as well. You know, when we talk about reimagining what Chinatowns can look like to make them viable and successful and relevant moving forward, connecting with the larger community, not just the Chinatown community, right, is really important. And you're going to need allies from all backgrounds, all areas, and also that's really important too because of the unfortunate, rise in anti-Asian hate crimes and violence that's happening right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I agree with you. The more everybody can get involved and sort of take a stand, the better that it will be.
Yeah, I mean to add on that, is that, so I think back to the media, right? So with Spencer, it was really funny. So Triple Crown, let's go back to I'm not sure how much time we got left. So
We've got like 5 minutes. Okay,
let me just talk about the Triple Crown, right? So the media right now, this is a time for us to write our own narrative. Everybody have access to Instagram, have TikTok, and Facebook, right? So this is our time to write our own narrative. When I was working with, I'm still working with Spencer from Triple Crown. He told me that really this thing is really absurd to me, but at the same time, I understand. ABC doesn't want to cover what WGC talk about, but we're talking about the same problem. We are being shut down by the pandemic, but if ABC cover that, the other channel is not going to cover that because it's not good for their channels. But you know what I mean though? This is absurd. If anything, we need more exposure, right? So at the same time, now we're talking about exposure. So I was another business leader told me that he was doing so many interviews when the pandemic starts. People were scared of coming to Chinatown, but all these newspaper were reaching out to him saying that, hey, there was zero case to be found in Chicago Chinatown, but people were scared of coming to Chinatown, right? But the media keep doing interview with them. People, of course, I'm not going to try to come to Chinatown right now. So if anything, during that time of period, the exposure of media, of the negative media, are hurting the business in Chinatown, right? They think they were helping them, but the more that you focus on spreading the news of the COVID-19 of Chicago Chinatown because they need that coverage, you are hurting them. You think you are helping them getting the exposure, but he stopped taking the interview because of that, because he doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Many people here are committee members who know that we have our Taste of Sister Cities program that we did last year, where we partnered with different restaurants, and Triple Crown is one of our partners. Yep. And I think I said this to you when we talked before, but I went to Chinatown to try to get business or, restaurants.
Yeah.
I was there and I can say firsthand, I mean, it was as empty as I've ever seen it. And that was really even before things really took off. So I can only imagine, how after a year, how they're doing. So I think that's all we have time for right now. So many people are sharing projects and ideas. We'll definitely collate all this information and distribute it. I think everyone is walking away with a lot of ideas and a lot of new information and ways that we can all help. And it's really interesting, just to recap everything that you said, you know, it's an interesting time for Chinatowns facing, like you said, they were already struggling before the pandemic, and you know, we all know what's going on. And so I think it's really important that we had this conversation, and I'm so glad that you joined us, because Chinatowns are extremely important to cities like Chicago and to cities around the US and the world. And so we should be thinking about what we can do in new and different ways to help.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We will share Shifa's contact information with everyone after this, don't worry. And we'll share all of your ideas as well. And then if Adrian's here and wants to hop back on. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. And thank you so much, Shifa, for sharing about the work that you're doing to support the community. And I think you're absolutely right. That was work that needed to be done before the pandemic, and the pandemic absolutely highlighted it. So thank you for helping them come online and pushing them to think differently and involving the next generation of leadership, which is so important.
Yeah.
Please continue to let us know how we can help support it. As we could see from the chats today from the audience, thank you everybody for sharing your great ideas. We'll connect you, and just appreciate all the great feedback today. And we hope that everybody can join us next month for our next Discover conversation in March, where our Casablanca and Petah Tikva Israel committees will be talking about the new normalization agreement between Morocco and Israel, the amazing history between the two countries and what it means for citizen diplomacy going forward. And I encourage you to follow us on social media if you're not already, and sign up for our newsletter to learn more about our 2021 programming. In addition to the Discover series, we also have several free and open to the public events, including a number of upcoming international business events, an event in March called Kazuna that will commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Great East Earthquake and Tsunami in Japan. And we'll also be launching a Citizen Diplomat series that spotlights extraordinary citizens in Chicago, like Shifa, who's doing work connecting us and keeping us all engaged. So all of this work is done with the support of our volunteer committee members. And we would love for you to join us in our work of promoting Chicago and promoting citizen diplomacy if you're not already involved. If you're interested in joining us on one of our committees, please feel free to reach out with any questions you have, and we'll share the membership application and the link. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everybody, for organizing this. I'm really happy that we are having this conversation. I feel like we are moving forward with the right direction, and I really appreciate this opportunity for the youth of Chinatown to speak up. And then we just I love having this conversation. And then so Jess will be following up with our contact information, and I would love we can work something out with Chicago sister cities, and then we can work something out together, and then we can build a better future of Chinatown.
Absolutely.
And judging from the chats, I think not all the audience saw all the conversation going on that was directed to the panelists, but there's a lot of great suggestions, a lot of great resources and great ideas. So I think everybody is committed to helping.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, everybody, for
Shifa.
coming through. We appreciate that. And then I would love to connect with you.
Great.
Okay.
And we'll see the rest of you next month for our next session.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye, Shifa.
Bye-bye.